Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm talking about a book called When the Body Says No by Gabor Maté. As you may know if you've watched some of my previous videos, I'm a huge Maté fan and this book did not disappoint. The book was amazing and exposed me to many new ideas. Let's get into some of them. Maté advances the idea that certain autoimmune diseases, chronic conditions, and cancers are caused by emotional repression. Now this may sound a bit new agey at first, or anyway, I thought it did, but it is actually backed by research and it's something that's been remarked upon before by other doctors and scientists. The main basic general idea is that emotional repression creates stress, and stress in return wreaks havoc on the body, mainly in the immune, digestive, and hormonal systems. For example, and this is not only Maté saying this, other doctors have said it as well, is that in lung cancer, for example, oftentimes people who get lung cancer never smoked. And a lot of people in the medical community have noticed that, not in all cases obviously, but in an important part of cases, lung cancer seems to be associated with people who bottle up their emotions. The idea is that emotional suppression works synergistically with smoking. So the more severe the repression, the less smoke you need to create damage. And this really was a strong point for me because my own grandfather did recently die of lung cancer, and he was a veteran, and as is often the case, he didn't talk very much. He was more of the silent type, and it made me think of this right away. I mean, obviously that's only my own observation, but it did ring true for me. In numerous studies of cancer, the most consistently identified factor is emotional repression, and especially anger. The repression of anger is not a mysterious thing that mysteriously leads to disease. Rather, it's a physiological process where it causes stress on the body, and the stress in return causes the disease. It doesn't work on its own, the book says. It works in conjunction with other factors, and some factors can make it worse. So for example, hopelessness or lack of social support. Maté talks about specific diseases in the book. So he talks about rheumatoid arthritis, he talks about scleroderma, cancer, various autoimmune diseases, also multiple sclerosis, and he gives personal examples of patients that he's known, but we all kind of know these people. So let's say the woman who says that she can do it all and she doesn't need to depend on anybody, or the man who says that he's convinced that his spouse is always trying to control him, even though she isn't. The woman who, as a little girl, always had to be happy or else. The man who was responsible emotionally for his mother, or the person who can't say no when they're given more and more work. We all kind of recognize these stories. Another point that the book makes is that genetics are overrated. Yes, for certain cancers there are genes, but it doesn't explain the whole picture because many people who have the gene don't necessarily develop the cancer, and obviously many people who don't have the gene do develop the cancer. So what the book advances is that the environment plays an extremely important role in the development of chronic diseases. The thing too, and I think this is an important point, is that it's possible to be repressing emotion without knowing it. When people have, what the book says is that when people have unhealthy childhoods, that these unhealthy ways of managing stress become ingrained in the person. It is possible to be trained to not feel certain emotions, but you still feel it, and so this may cause disease later on when the body says, as in the title of the book, no, it's enough. One of the principal ideas of the book is that the more you felt unconditionally loved as a child, the more that later on as an adult, you'll be better able to face stress, because as a child, when your brain is developing, those perceptions, they really have a concrete impact on your brain development, and it will affect how you face the world later on, how easy it is for you to face stress. If, let's say, you didn't have the best environment, it can be difficult for a person, it can become difficult for a person to manage stress or to become overwhelmed more easily with the same amount of stress that for another person it would perhaps not be so difficult to manage. Finally, to finish the book, Maté says that he gives in the last chapter of the book, he kind of talks of ways that you can prevent stress and live a more authentically with yourself. I do have to say, I would have liked to see more explanation on this. I thought it was kind of like tacked on at the end, but perhaps it's such a vast subject that it wasn't possible to delve into it in much detail in the book. Perhaps that's the object of another book. That's it for today. If you made it to the end of the video, I thank you very much. And if you like learning and talking about books, please subscribe, like the video. That's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye.